Are you all able to see?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
So again, welcome. My name is Akira, and this is MANCOBA. This is baby Olaifa. This is nap time, so he'll be napping shortly during our presentation. And so again, we're grateful for this platform to be here today to share our vision and mission for the work we want to do with UBUNTU Permaculture Mission, our nonprofit organization. So we are the HLATSHWAKO. We're the proud parents of our son Olaifa. Our vision ultimately is to be full-time stewards of our land in Sargentsville, New Jersey. We just recently got accepted through the New Jersey Food Shed Alliance for land in Sargentsville, New Jersey. And so we're hoping to develop a permaculture demonstration site there for the community there, but also for communities in urban areas who don't have access to organic food, locally grown food. We would like to bring that to our community in Newark. The motherland brought us together. So Swaziland, Eswatini brought us together, and our collective visions have inspired us to share that with the world and with our community. We believe in responsible and collective stewardship of the earth as a means to eradicating poverty. The poverty we see in the world should not exist. There's more than enough food for everyone. We hope that it can eradicate inequality that happens as it pertains to access to healthy food, organic food, locally grown food, as well as access to land. And also we like to eradicate environmental degradation. As we see, global warming is happening all over the world. Natural disasters are happening all over the world. It's already January and we still haven't had any snow. So again, what does that say about how we're stewarding? We also believe that is our human right to have access to land to grow fresh, local, and organic foods. Through UBUNTU Permaculture Mission, we hope to improve the holistic well-being of urban and rural communities through permaculture education, teaching everyone how to grow their own food, creating green jobs for folks, ecotourism, so opportunities to engage across the diaspora. So whether that be volunteering, working in New Jersey at our demonstration site, or participating in agro-tourism trips to Swaziland, Eswatini. We also have partners in Kenya, and we're hoping to branch out further around the continent. We also want to help with market access and networking collaboration for organic farmers. And ultimately, we aim to promote the practice of sustainable lifestyles that will extend beyond us. Again, I think that's a big issue when it comes to teaching, education, or even having an idea. Sometimes you're the flame, and once you go, the flame is gone. And so we hope that we can leave a legacy to continue the legacy of our ancestors and make it so that everyone has this wisdom of growing their own food and caring for the earth.
Okay, well, my name is MANCOBA. I want to teach you that because you next time you meet somebody, you can say, yeah, I know how to speak Zulu or Xhosa, and then you can tell them my name. It's MANCOBA. The CO, it's it's a clique, MANCOBA. So we are the HLATSHWAKOs, and born and raised in the Kingdom of Eswatini, down in the southeast of the African continent. And how do I get to know permaculture? Really, being born in Africa, especially in Swaziland, you have to have some kind of agriculture in your blood, because it is not just something you do for fun. It is really a livelihood. People depend on it. We depend on it. So my father taught me pretty much everything I know about, sustainability, raising your own family, taking care of the environment, because you're depending on it. If you ruin the environment, who knows? You're cutting the trees, rain is not going to come, because they are responsible for creating rain, which you're going to need 6 months down the line for your crops. So he really emphasized and instilled in me that for having a successful life, we must take care of the earth. we must take care of one another as a community and as a family. So through that, I was able to start Sunny Farms, which is a permaculture demonstration farm back home in Swaziland that teaches permaculture to my community through producing food for the community and for my family as well. Over the years, even though I was raised with these permaculture principles, I did have to get a certification through an institution in Australia to be able to teach permaculture and also to use the word permaculture itself, because you gotta be a graduate. You have to do the 72-hour course to be a graduate, and then you can use permaculture in your business, in your organization, and in whatsoever that you want to use it in. So yeah, thank you. Of course, I'm a husband and father to these two wonderful people and partner.
Yes. So again, my name is AKIRAH and MANCOBA. I'm a Newark native, born and raised. Originally was raised in the South Ward of Osborne Terrace, and then moved to the Central Ward over by Court Street and Prince Street. So that was kind of my stomping ground as a kid growing up. I went through the education system. I was attended Morton Street School, Quitman Street School, Science Park High School, so all the schools for the most part. And so again, I graduated high school from science, and I went away to Virginia State University, where I studied psychology, and then to Michigan. And in between, I served in the Peace Corps from 2016 to 2018. This is where I met Mancoba. And so I was working in a very rural community in Swaziland. Lots of people had land or growing their own food, something I never experienced or ever heard of. And so kind of just give you some idea of just where the vision came from and the purpose around growing our own food. Also taught English in Malaysia and traveled all over. But I definitely was like, after graduating, I'm like, I want to come back home. I believe in the talented Tim W.B. Du Bois, not just coming from your community, learning and growing and taking it somewhere else, but bringing it back to your people. And so I came back to Newark in 2019, been here ever since. And I'm currently a school social worker working in Newark Public Schools. And I also work as a community doula, so helping mothers during their birth and also after birth, and just overall breastfeeding advocate. I believe that is the first food for our children. And so definitely all of it is related. And so just having the passion, being able to travel extensively in the motherland and wanting that for our people to be able to go back home. And so definitely that's a big portion of Ubuntu Permaculture Mission as well, that cross-cultural exchange, the agritourism, and reconnecting with ourselves. We also just want to introduce our other board member, Mike Wong. He was very active in starting Sunny Farms and believing in our vision in Swaziland. He's currently based in Germany, but is originally from Seattle. And so he's very impactful into the work that we're doing and providing guidance. We also just got a new board member. I don't know if any of you know AKIRAH. Yeah, she's very active in the community. She had a community garden, Green Oasis, in the South Ward, and she just came on as one of our board members. So we're definitely happy to continue to extend out our board to an eclectic group of people who all share a similar vision.
Yes, then Ubuntu. Ubuntu, of course, it is the philosophy from Africa, which really emphasizes that, you are, or I am, because of the person right next to you. This is something that is really embedded in, our culture in Africa, in Swaziland, in South Africa, and pretty much most of the tribes down south. It is something that we really emphasize as we raising a community, raising kids, that first of all, through Ubuntu, which is our culture, is called the culture of the Bantu, is called Isintu. Ubuntu is the philosophy. The culture of the Bantu is Isintu. Isintu is it comes. It's a package. It comes with respecting your elders, because they're a source of wisdom. respecting one another as husband and wife, as a community, as a family, showing love and just being humble, making sure that you put the other person first in whatever situation and in all conflicts, but also just make sure that Ubuntu comes first. But it doesn't also, end with just between people. It goes beyond that to nature. Like I've said, the environment is part of us. It's not just, it's me, and the environment is everything that is outside of you. No, you are within the environment, and whatever that happens to nature, whatever that happens to environment, is going to end up within our own body, in our own blood. So Ubuntu is where we got the name and the philosophy of our organization.
Our vision is to establish ourselves as the leading pioneers in permaculture education. And this vision just came from wanting to see more people that look like us, considering permaculture isn't anything but indigenous wisdoms packaged to the world. And so how is it that indigenous wisdoms are being sold to people, but they're not reflected in who's teaching them, who's sharing the stories? And so we definitely want to establish ourselves as leading pioneers in permaculture education so that people around the world can see themselves when they see us.
Well, we're talking about this course. It's called the PDC course, Permaculture Design course. We're looking into making it into bi-weekly, and then it's going to be up to 20 sessions, which we are looking forward that we can spend at least 3 to 3.5 hours per session. And the lesson will be presented through lectures, presentations, and then doing field trips within the community to permaculture sites, to nature, because like I've said, permaculture is about reflecting, learning from nature, because it is our mother, right? We even say mother.
Looks like maybe they've lost their connection. Hopefully they'll be able to come back. Yeah.
I was thinking it was me. I said, wait a minute, don't tell me.
Yes, it's interesting.
Okay, may give him a minute to come back. Good morning, Sister Dina.
Good morning.
It's so powerful. It knocked the power out, but it's coming back. Look how powerful. That's what happened. See, look.
Oh, sorry.
Look at God. Okay.
It's okay.
Got it.
Can you still see our presentation? No?
No.
No.
Okay, let's stop sharing. Sorry about that. I think our Wi-Fi just went out for some reason. It always happens when you're like in the middle of a good each time. Okay, so let me reshare. Okay, can you see it now? Okay, perfect. Sorry about that again. Technology. Okay, awesome.
So like I said, we're looking to have up to 20 sessions of these three modules, with each having its chapter that we will cover, and each one of them is different, covering different chapters and different topics that are permaculture rooted. And each presentation will be made through going out to nature, visiting permaculture sites, learning from nature. Like I've said, it has so much to teach us to create permanence in our system. So the best way to learn is to go out there and observe and adopt to that. systems or to those patterns. So once you are done, that's when you get your permaculture certificate, which you can, next slide.
I'm sorry, hold on.
Okay.
Order.
So once you're done with all 20 sessions, then you'll be able to get your certificate. And with your permaculture certificate, you should be able now to use the word permaculture in your own organization. You can use that in your own business, as you will be teaching. There's a lot that you will find, and you can turn it into your business opportunity or whatever that you want to do to teach other people mostly. Then you'll be able to use the word permaculture, but you also learn how to design, because at the end of the day, we're being told like, well, we need to scale down, to serve the planet, to get out of poverty, to get out of this development of this system. We need to scale down, but the question is how? How do we do it? How do we learn from our ancestors? So permaculture has all the designs that we can learn from. That is from, of course, starting from the permaculture ethics, which is care of people, care of the earth, and a mutual share. So talking about Ubuntu really emphasized that we should care for people. I am because you are, that is Ubuntu, the care of people and care of the earth is important of living and non-living things. Those are the ethics of permaculture, and having a mutual share, after we have taken from the earth, it is our responsibility to give back to it, so that the earth can continue for the next generation. For example, how does that look in a real life situation? How do you apply these ethics? I'll make a simple example with our permaculture farm back in Swaziland, where we are, where really we have a demonstration site from the community. Our traditions there to get land, you just pay tribute to the chief in a form of a cow. And you can get up to 5 acres of land, get a cow or money, which is the value of a cow. You pay to your chief and they allocate you land. So we did that, and we're using that demonstration farm for caring for living and non-living things, for care of the earth. How do we do that? We do composting, we do composting from biomass and trees and bark from a nearby sawmill. We bring it into our site, decompose it, spread it throughout the land, taking care of the microbial system that are on the soil that we don't see, but they are there and they're doing great work. But from there, once we produce is there, we share it, we sell it to the community, so our community can have access to fresh food. That is how we care for the earth. And then whatever waste that is there is not thrown away, it's put back to the compost. And that way it is not being wasted, but we're putting it back where it's come from. That is mutual benefit. And of course, having those community ethics in terms of how do we show love and warmth to one another.
And so again, we shared a bit about the permaculture course and just kind of wanting to go into a little bit more about what it will entail. So again, we want people to come from all different levels of learning. So we don't expect you to come as an expert already knowing or understanding permaculture, how to grow food. But we definitely want people to come from all walks of life. And so we'll definitely start off with the introduction to permaculture principles. So definitely centering those ethics, caring for the people, caring for earth, and mutual benefit. So that is the guiding principles for everything you do as it pertains to permaculture, but also how you live your life. And so we're going to start off extensively with the introduction, just so everyone can understand more about permaculture and ethics, and also natural system designs, like how do we use our system to benefit us? And also within the system, how do we learn from nature, okay? And not having things just serve as one purpose, having things have multiple purposes within the system, and each thing benefit each other. So a big thing is recycling. How do we use the waste, our food waste? How do we bring it back to the garden and use it so it's not wasted. And then cultivating ecology, so using those principles as well. And then module 2, the elements of permaculture design. Again, how do we design our systems to benefit each other? But also they're efficient and effective. You don't need a bunch of land to grow food. You can grow a lot on a little bit. You maximize the energy within the space. You recycle the energy within the space to benefit everything.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so-
Talking about soil, and this module, we're looking at, as we know, like all over the world, our soil is being depleted and compacted to almost like we're losing it. So it is centered or central to a permaculture designer, how to, give life back to soil. What can we do to build up the soil? That involves composting and many other techniques that will be covered in this chapter. And water and soil, they are very related. Whatever that happens in our land is also happening to the soil. I mean, to the water. So as a permaculture designer in this chapter, we'll be looking at how do we capture water. In America, I also experienced a culture shock that you have to buy water. Literally, you have to go to the shop and buy it. I'm not saying we have a lot of water in Africa, because right now in northern Africa, there's a lot of drought that is happening out there. There's no rain. But when it does rain, we need to know what to do. We need to learn how to capture it through the land itself. The land itself is a good storage of water, but we need the know-how, we need the technique of how do we dig the ponds, where to dig the pond. If you can dig a pond, where on the land should be above your home or lower your land. And also talking about forest, we're looking at the importance of trees, what they do, talking about rising of temperatures. Most of it is because we have cut the forest. So we need to know the importance of trees, how to plant them, how to propagate them, and also how they will help us to control other elements such as wind, and also we're looking at buildings, the houses that we're living in the cities. They generate a lot of heat. They use a lot of heat. And when it happens that we're no longer using them, they stand there and almost become like of no use. But how about we start learning how to build houses that can return back to the earth? How about building houses that can breathe, and have fresh air, clean air?
Using homes that are built with natural materials.
Yes.
In Swaziland, most homes are built with thatch or the natural clay. And so they're heat resistant. They can sustain different weather conditions. They're made from the earth. So if you were to deconstruct them, you can give back to the earth. You have a lot of materials here that can't be decomposed. They just serve one purpose. And then once they're done, they go to the landfills. Use of cement, different materials that are not natural as a part of the earth. And so just kind of thinking about that and restructuring our mind about how we build as well. So those are just some of the elements of permaculture design that you'll get in the course. And then in module 3, again, more on permaculture design, talking about villages. Our plan now, we're extending to Swaziland eco village now. So we're acquiring land to start building that. So what does a village look like? What does a community look like? I was telling him how I live on the street, but I don't know anyone on the street. I may know my next door neighbor and a few people that live within my home, because most of these are multi-family units. But how is it that you can live in a community, a village, but not know anyone? There's no community. You don't know who you're living with. You're not working together or sharing resources. And so I know in Swaziland, that's like unheard of. Everyone knows everyone. It's inevitable. And so kind of getting back to that village mindset, that community mindset that UBUNTU, what does that look like? Okay. And then patterns in design. What are patterns in nature that we can replicate within our gardens so that everything is mutual and benefiting from each other and working together? How do we plan for catastrophes, natural disasters? How can we make our gardens or our areas in which we practice permaculture sustainable. We don't have to wait for something to happen to prepare. We can be,
Yeah.
we can be already preparing for it before it happens. You can talk about the rest.
Oh yeah, then supplies. We should be able, I mean, COVID and the lockdown, for some of us, part of the world have shown that how unsustainable our systems are. You know, the fact that we have to get grains from Ukraine, that's embarrassment while we're eating bread every day. You know, like we should be able in every community, in every homestead, we should be able to supply for our own needs. So supplies teach us how to save seeds, for example. You know, we have a lot of avocados that we buy and get every day. You can save the seeds, you know, from all the food that we use at home. You can save seeds from that for your own supplies, for your own garden. So we also look into how you can supply for your own needs, energy, you know, be it solar, be other forms of energy that you can design and use for your own needs. And also just classical landscape profile. We should be able to look at the land or any landscape out there and have some understanding of where to put your elements, you know, be it your home. You know, let's say you have bought land out there. Where do you put your home? Where do you put your building? Which direction should it face? Understanding where water will pass, so that you can avoid things like floods. So understanding a landscape helps to where to position your elements on land. And also community, talking about economics, we should have community-centered economics, you know, our own economy from community banks, you know, and also redefine wealth. What is really wealth? Is it money? You know, is it money, which most of us, and we don't always have enough, but can also be clean water, be wealth. You know, if we are able to secure and create spaces that can give us clean water, that is wealth. You know, can we also have our own banks? How do we create our own banks as a community? As permaculturists, can we come together and start a group saving thing that we can pass wealth from? Share food, barter trade. In Africa, for years, we didn't use money. You know, we barter trade. You know, you have a goat, I have grains. Give me a goat, I give you grains. We're still doing that. You know, you have a bag of avocados, I give you a bag of avocados, you give me a bag of sweet potatoes. You know, a community thrive through those principles.
And even savings groups. That's
Saving
very
groups,
big. I remember during my Peace Corps service, my Mage, my host mom, she was involved in a bunch of community savings groups where all of the women in the community come together and save money collectively. And that money is kind of in a pot where people can borrow from in the community with interest. And the group can always make money. And then at the end of the year, everyone gets their payout and they bought food together. And so you have so much food for the community to share at the end of the year, and everyone kind of gets a share. And so just having that collective economics working together is definitely essential. In this picture right here, we have some students from Rutgers University who we were given a garden tour at People's Garden. They're eating watermelon from seeds that I saved from when I went to Nigeria. And so again, I saved those seeds, I dried them while I was there, I bought them back and overplanted them. And now we're here enjoying beautiful, delicious watermelon with seeds. You know how hard it is to find seeded watermelon here in America, but here they're enjoying the fruits of that labor. And so again, this course is very big, very grand, but it can change your life. And so just with planting a seed of $1,000. Now this is a subsidized rate because most people are charging way more. We're definitely hoping that it is affordable for everyone to participate. And again, once you complete the course, you yourself will become a permaculture design course certifier. And so you can take the knowledge, you can start your own course, train others, and kind of go forth and go on. So each one teach one philosophy,
Yeah.
which is what we
Do it
love
yourself.
about the program, where you can kind of keep going, teaching others and sharing the knowledge.
Mm.
Other services we offer is consulting and educational workshops. So we've already partnered with STEAM Urban. We've taught workshops to them. Newark Science and Sustainability. So we do different community workshops. We partner with United Parks as one, did the worm farming program workshop at National Night Out. We partnered with the Clinton Hill Community Action Network and did a summer demonstration and workshops. So we're available and in the community to do different consultations and workshops around permaculture as well. And we also work with Barringer High School to help design a permaculture garden there. So if you want to speak more about that.
Yeah, so let's say you want a permaculture garden at your home, but you just want it to be constructed right there. You know, you can come to us and put a design for you, look at your backyard, look what you're gonna need, and we can start working on it, build it up for you.
Again, labor assistance, so similar, being able to support in the labor aspect. If you're
Yeah.
starting your garden, we'd love to volunteer and help out there, as well as community gardens. We're always eager to participate and volunteer our time and services and knowledge to share with the community. Our big piece of permaculture that we're also excited about, in addition to our PDC course, is the agritourism. So the cross-cultural exchange, being able to go to the motherland and learn about permaculture from an indigenous perspective and see how it works. And every day, people who are practicing it, is not anything different or special than the norm. It's wisdom, and it's how people live their lives. So this is just a brief explanation of our agritourism program. We usually offer it to students who complete the PDC course. That's kind of at the end of the course, you can choose to participate in the agritourism portion of going to Swaziland and learning on the ground there at our demonstration site at Sunny Farms, and also in the future at our other demonstration site that we're planning out. So we want to share a little bit more.
Yeah, no, yeah, so even if you don't do the PDC course, you can join us, you know, come to the motherland, meet the people there, look at the landscape, eat good food, support the culture, because, you know, it's so, what's common is people going to Africa to help, which is good, but Africa, Swaziland can offer a lot more than that. You know, we're not just a receiving place. We have a lot of lessons, you know, sustainability that has been there and practiced by our ancestors for thousands of years, that people can come and learn, you know, instead of just going there and help. You can actually get something for yourself and come back in America and thrive. And people will say, where do you get this from? And you can say, from Africa, from Swaziland. So yes, I think it will be a very, very great experience for everybody to do that.
Yeah, we're hoping it can be a 10-night stay. We're still planning out the program, but just wanted to share it just so that you know that's coming. Hopefully it could be a 10-day stay at our farm in Eswatini. You'll be hosted there, and we'll be able to pick you up from the airport in Johannesburg, so you'll fly in. Then everything will be included except your plane ticket. And so that's a program that we're starting to, but just wanted to put that out there so you know that that's on the horizon. And then, like we said, we're building out to other countries. And so we'll have opportunities to go, to learn, to exchange, and to share. So I know you're asking, okay, this is overwhelming, this is a lot. So where do I even start? What can I do? And so here's some tangible things that you can do. We're all a part of this ecosystem, this earth, this nature, this planet. And so we all can do our part, even if it's something small, as using less energy, turning off your lights, being more pragmatic about how you use transportation, bringing food growing back into our cities. When you think about the amount of energy it takes to transport food from wherever it comes, whether it be outside of the US or even towns away, how about we use that energy to keep it in our communities and grow food there? And then even with the energy, the waste of just having single-use plastic just to wrap up a few vegetables, you know, just growing where you are, you pick, it goes from farm to table. Assisting people to become more self-reliant versus dependent. I don't know about any of you, but being in this pandemic really was eye-opening just about how reliant we are on big pharma companies and grocery stores and supermarkets. I remember there was a shortage of certain foods and you're just like, what do you do? If there's no supermarket, do you even eat? And so like just kind of being more of an active agent in your life when it comes to what you're eating and how you're growing your food. Reforest the earth. We're losing a lot of trees. A lot of forests are being cut down for different reasons that aren't about protecting the earth. So learning more about planting trees, restoring fertility to the soil. I don't know if you ever walk through the neighborhood and you see like stuff coming through the cracks. I'm just like, man, like there's probably some really rich soil underneath this cemented sidewalks that we just never get to see or touch. And so thinking about how do we restore the fertility of the soil so we can grow food, using everything at its optimal level and recycling all waste. So that can be something as simple as starting compost in your kitchen, you know, and moving into your backyard, not just throwing food into the trash. That food can go back into your garden. Reusing water. I know that was a big thing when I was in Swaziland. We wash our clothes with big basins of water, and then we put that water, that green water, back into the garden. Maybe you might need to filter it out a bit, but reusing the water instead of just pouring it out, you know? And then seeing solutions and not problems. I think sometimes we get so overwhelmed by the problem and like global warming and all these things are happening that we can't see past the solutions. And solutions are us. We can always do something, whether it's small or big, and work where it counts. So assist people who want to learn. Sometimes we feel like we can't go far because we don't have a bunch of people who see our vision or believe in what we're doing. But sometimes it takes one person, Carla, and they can assist you where you are and you can learn and kind of just share and grow from there. So just don't be discouraged and work where it counts.
Well, of course, partner with us on the 72-hour permaculture design course, which is going to start on the 5th of March. So yes, please sign up, and we pray and hoping that, you know, we can even get funding so that people can, you know, take this course for free, you know. So but do sign up and get ready to start studying with us. Of course, you can donate, help us with establishing and building permaculture demonstration site. One will be in Swaziland, another one will be here in New Jersey. And also volunteer with your time. You know, if you can come and help us, looking to not just to have you to come work, but it's also an opportunity to learn. So that'll be another way to, you know, to support us. Connect with us on Instagram and Facebook as well.
And Siyabonga, thank you.
Siyabonga, that's another Zulu or Siswati word you can learn today, which is Siyabonga, which means we thank you or I thank you.
And we'll leave some space for questions if anyone has any questions. Laifa, the king is awake. We'll also leave a link for our interest form. If you're interested in signing up for the course, we can send an email with more of the descriptions and logistics. And so we'll leave that in the chat box as well. But Siyabonga.
I have a question. Hi, great morning, everyone. I was so excited to go to, what was it, Mildred Helms Park on National Night Out and get my worm farm started. Because I'm a gardener. I teach gardening to children in a garden space. And so what I did was I put my worm farm in a bag with wood chips. I put wood chips on it, and I put all the wood chips around it, and I put, just wood chips everywhere. So it's been really cold, like especially in the beginning of the season. And I looked it up and it said that they would freeze, right? That the worms, that it may just freeze, but before they do that or something, that they'll lay eggs so that the worms will come back in the spring. So my question is, am I gonna have worms in the spring, or do I have to go order worms on Amazon?
Yes, the answer is yes, you will.
Yay!
You will, as long as they stay warm. I like the idea of yes, putting wood chips in a bag,
Yeah,
because that keeps them at are they outside or inside?
it's outside. I should
Outside.
bring them in. I don't know if my husband gonna like all that. I got.
But they should be there. They should be there. Of course, under the ground is pretty warmer. And also the fact that it's in a pot, so they should be able to survive. But do check. You can always, empty that pot and see if you're gonna find, little cocoons there, like really small worms that will be there. But they will come back. They will come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, they're always there.
I'll keep you
They're always
posted.
in the soil. Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one more question. I have a tumbler, a compost tumbler, and I noticed the other day that there are worms on the outside, those little white worms. They're on the outside of the tumbler and not, I don't even know if there's any inside. I'm not going to really be digging down in there to see. But is that normal?
Maggots?
Excuse me?
Is
Is
it
it-
maggots?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they're maggots, huh? And not the worms.
It sounded like you said they were white.
If they're white, then they might be there for a wrong reason.
Okay,
They're
so
not the ones you need for your soil,
all right, so get rid of them.
if you can. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're outside in the water. Like there's a little handle on it, and the water kind of settles in that handle.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll just go
Yeah,
scrape
get
them.
rid of them. Also, they might be caused by the imbalance in your compost.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, so the fact that you probably just have too much nitrogen, sources of nitrogen, which is your food waste.
Yeah, that's
The
it.
decomposition is not happening well. So probably add a lot of carbon material like paper,
Okay.
wood chips, so that there's a balance. But we cover a lot of that kind of information in the permaculture course.
Yes, I'm interested in the course. So that's what
Yeah.
it is. It's a lot of food waste because I do put a lot of food waste in there.
Yeah.
Like a lot of
So if you want,
vegetables.
put both,
Yeah.
Right.
balance it. Mhm.
Okay. I'm gonna add more paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Alexis, you had a question?
Yes. So it's probably a very Ricky question, but what is the difference between, because this is the most I've heard about, I've been in a conversation about permaculture. So what's the difference between like permaculture and regenerative farming, organic farming? Like, are they all kind of the same thing? Like, where are the differences between these different like buzzwords I'm hearing within farming?
Yeah. Well, I'll say regenerative farming and the other types of farming, they just inside permaculture. They mostly specifically deal with just the soil, or growing food. Organic farming is just like, avoid using pesticides, avoid using chemical fertilizer. But it's not really talking in terms of, how is everything connected? Permaculture is teaching us that, things are not separated. We tend to separate things and make them, unit, but everything is connected. Soil, like I said, soil is connected to water. So you can have healthy soil, but if your water is not healthy in the farm, then it's going to be affected. So permaculture teaches about the water, teaches about us, how we should, ethics, of whatever that you're doing. You should put men first. So if we have that mentality, then everything will be smooth. There will be sustainability in pretty much all the elements. So I would say permaculture covers everything. It gives you the design of everything. The chapter about recycling even teaches about clothes, you know. Clothes is something that we buy every day. Fashion, you know, we see you go out in the shops, you see something beautiful, you buy it, but you wear it once or twice. After that, you donate it, thinking you're solving the problem, but you're not, because this donated clothes coming from Swaziland in Africa, they are also causing an environmental problem there, you know, an economic problem, because if you're bringing donated clothes, there are people who are making clothes in Africa, you know, who are selling those clothes for a livelihood. So if you're bringing free clothes, you're affecting people's lives. So permaculture is teaching us, no, stop just donating. Maybe you can make something with it, you know. You can make a bag, you know, for example. So it's everything. It's holistic. Yeah.
Siyobonga.
Yeah.
Wemukelekile. It means you are welcome. Wemukelekile. Yes.
Yes.
I don't have the raise hand button, but I am super excited with this conversation and possible relationships that can form from this. And there was just so much that I wanted to say. And I've been in this place, in this space about reframing what support looks like. I've been in this space where there's this narrative, especially here in the city of Newark. It's like, oh, poor Newark. I say that all the time. I said that last time in this meeting. And you see it when it comes to areas and levels of support. And you mentioned that also, you know, people think they're do-gooders by providing clothing, but what you're actually doing is you're causing the problem. And to be able to almost like do a needs assessment, because I feel like needs assessments don't happen very frequently. People think that they're helping, they're thinking that there's this, that they're saving people and providing them with things that they really don't need. Let's start in a space, in a place where we analyze the landscape and start that conversation about, okay, this is what we really need, and opposed to outsiders predetermining what it is that the people want, desire, and would actually find resourceful moving forward. There was also, and I'm a shotgun it. There was also something you mentioned in regards to soil and its relationship with water, but I'm also a registered dietitian, and soil is imperative to nutritional density. Where do you think the food that you have gets its vitamins and minerals? It gets it from the sun, and it gets it from the soil. That's where it comes from. So if you don't have rich ground, you don't have rich food. If you're wondering why you're planting something and it has a very light green hue when it should have a darker green hue, that's because that there's an imbalance in the soil, and it's not as nutrient dense as it should be. And then you don't have the ability to consume that and be your best self and your whole person. That was my second point. And then my third point is, and I mentioned this in the chat, that this has been like 100% aligned with what's been going on. I spoke to Ms. Donna, 2 weeks ago. And when I say, when you set yourself up and you open yourself up with intention to be connected heart to heart and breast to breast with people that are like-minded and moving in the same direction, it will happen. And I met with the mayor on Tuesday, because I asked him, I said, I need to see your vision for what you want with the Office of Sustainability, with food and sustainability systems, because I have my own ideas. But I also need to make sure, for proper funding purposes, it's aligned with what the mayor wants to see happening in the city. And one of the things that he mentioned is, he talked about experiential learning. He talked about, let's have the people who are doing the great work here in the city go outside of the city to see what's happening and what's going on, and they take those best practices and they bring it back here, so that they can enrich the soil and teach the teacher, and we see great things happening here in the city. So that conversation has already started. We were looking at soul fire farms in New York But I said, we're going to Ubuntu, okay? We're gonna go to Ubuntu. We're gonna make our way over to Ubuntu, and we're gonna figure out the logistics behind it. But I hope and pray that you guys will stay connected with me so that we can continue to make great things happen. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Miss Carla, for seeing the light. Thank you for bringing it into this space, and I'm just so happy to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your
This is
wisdom.
great.
Is it Chestnut? Chesa?
It's Chisa.
Chisa. Thank you, Chisa, for your wisdom.
In Swaziland, Chisa means hot.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yes.
Hot.
Hot.
Hot, hot, hot.
Oh, hot, caliente.
Chisa.
Yes.
Chisa. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Elizabeth said she can't hear anyone. I'm not sure. You can hear now?
I can hear now, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we shared the interest.
Great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
And your baby seems like he wants to be a part of it.
Oh, he's a part.
He is.
He's in the forefront. So
Wow, this has been great. Everybody still got their seatbelts on, or did you break them off? This has been really a blessing today. So aligned with so much that we've been talking about and trying to do for the years, but nothing happens before it's time. And I'm just so excited of all the energy coming through. I want to take the course. I've been waiting to take the course. The recycling of the clothes, I've been doing that all my life to give to other people. And so this is aligned with what has been our lifestyle, most of us Native Newarkers. Kathleen, you can step on that one too. So I'm just excited and glad to be in this moment with all of you. And I'll yield and shut up, but I had to say that. Thank you.
yeah, bongas.
Yeah,
Shared
bon.
our email in the chat. We also shared the interest form. So if you're interested, sign up. And then also just wanted to say we have another interest meeting tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We can share the Zoom link in the chat as well. But if you want to just learn more or be in community tomorrow, we'll also be hosting another interest meeting. We had one this morning for our Swaziland family. We're in a different time zone, so it was very early, but really good conversation, just mobilizing that side as well. So again, we give thanks. Siyabonga.
Yeah, bon.
So if you could share that list of, I don't know if you do it a lot, but with your different courses, sharing the list with us that we can share out further with what you just said, the different places, the different times, and what you have, and then we can support that way too, individually and collectively sharing, upcoming interest meetings. So you give it to Carla, Carla can share it with us.
Can you say more about where the farm in New Jersey is located relative to Newark?
Yes. No, our phone. So we're volunteering now at People's Garden by the Newark Science and Sustainability with Tobias. His garden is in the North Ward off of Park Avenue, Garside Street. So we volunteer at that garden. We're gonna have our own permaculture demonstration site in Sargentsville, New Jersey, which is about an hour from here. It's through the New Jersey Food Shed Alliance. They have land that's through the New Jersey Conservation Organization. And so they have designated land for conservation purposes, for organic and restorative farming. So we were able to acquire land through them. And so we're just waiting to secure our lease. We don't know exactly how many acres we'll get, but that's going to be our permaculture demonstration site hub outside of Newark and food production site in Sargentsville. So that's in Huntington County, about an hour from here, give or take.
Do you have a sense of when that will be up and running for groups to be able to visit?
So again, we're still waiting for the lease to come through. I know they have some other things they need to do on developing the land, but we're hoping to have things by the summer. But like I said, we'll be working with the Newark Science and Sustainability Organization at their garden on Garside. So we'll be doing workshops starting in May at the People's Garden. So if anyone wants to participate in those workshops, we'll have more on that as well. So yeah, that's what we can look forward to coming up, in addition to our permaculture course that's going to start in March 5th.
Quick question,
I'm sorry, Miss McGrandy, can you repeat? We couldn't hear you. It's like McGrandy, can you hear you?
Yes. And what other street?
It's like it's off of so if you go down Park Avenue, then it's on Garside. So Garside is a one-way
Thank
street.
you.
Yeah. I can't remember the school that's there. But it's on Garside.
It's Benjamin Franklin School.
What school did you say, Tisa?
It's Benjamin Franklin Elementary School. I just put in the chat, that garden is actually right behind my house. I can look from my window and see it.
Thank you.
I'm saying, yeah, so come through if you're in the area nearby. We're definitely there last summer doing different workshops for Rutgers students. And so we're hoping to do the same as well. This is a Zoom link to register for tomorrow's session at 1. We just put it in the box. I think, did we share with you the flyer, Carlos? We did, okay, so we want to share that as well.
Thank you again for enlightening us. I feel like I learned so much this morning from listening to you, and I'm excited about the opportunities ahead, both to continue learning and hopefully to work with you at events at parks here in Newark, and also bring folks out to where you're working. So I think there are a lot of possibilities, both with United Parks is one, and some of the other organizations here on the meeting today. So I'm glad we were able to make these connections. So thanks again. And having said that, I'll turn it back over to Richard and Donna.
Oh, and Sarah, we applied for the mini plot and so hopefully you'll reviewing an application. No, Malcolm left or is leaving. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're just starting to review those, but for people that are doing stuff with schools, we have another opportunity for programs directly with schools. So if you guys are interested, or anybody else is on the call, or anybody you could refer people to who are doing programming specifically with schools and school gardens.
So Sarah, I'm going to put it out right now. We've been trying to reconnect for like months. So now that we're face to face, maybe you and I can connect and talk about that synergy, because we're both doing the school. So we'll reach out.
Yes,
maybe
say that again, Donna. Sorry, say that again.
I said you and I'm seizing the moment. You and I have been running around, supposed to be meeting for months, and now that I know, see you, we need to touch base so that we can tighten up that synergy and be the best benefit we can for the schools that we're working with. So
I know. I ride on your coattails, Donna.
When you get back, we can sit down and brainstorm and pull all this stuff together. So I'm looking forward to that meeting now too. Okay, so now Richard, it's on you. Thanks so much. Richard.
All right, so that was some very enlightening and powerful information that was shared. Please, all those who are interested in getting involved, please look at the chat and look at the contact information and follow up. Okay. Do we have any announcements?
Yes. So I'm supposed to say this. The next United Parks as One meeting is February the 18th from 10 to 11:30. But I also want to share with everybody, I'm going to plug this with the announcement and our closing remarks. when spider webs unite, we can tie up a line, right? And so all of us are part of that web. And because of all the work that United Parks as one has been doing for the past 17 years, I'm talking individual groups, and then becoming United Parks as one, the whole group. All that work has warranted United Parks as one to be honored at the Trust for Public Lands 50th celebration. And United Parks as one, which is one of the oldest friends groups that I know of from the Trust for Public Land, that started and created themselves as a 501c3 independent organization. And they are going to be honored with the Community Heroes Award in New York. And so it is the spider webs that united, that created this moment here. So I'm just excited and really glad that I had the opportunity to manifest what it looks like when community folks come together with the same passion and mindset. So any other comments? I just wanted to put that out there. Anybody have any more announcements? Yeah, that's my say. Richard, you can take it from there.
Okay. Anyone have any announcements to share?
Here I go again. We got Carla.
Oh, I was going to ask Betty if her hand was up.
Oh, she got a sad face. You're muted. You're muted, Betty.
Sorry, applause just to all of us at United Parks as one for all the hard work and perseverance for the award.
Great. I wanted to bring to everybody's attention next Saturday, the 28th. Next Saturday, the 28th. I don't know why. You yourself, Betty. Okay. Next Saturday, the 28th at the Newark Museum is going to be the community meeting for the Harriet Tubman Square Park. So everybody on here, you know, let's put the word out to any and everybody to come and put their voice, you know, to be heard. What would they like to see in there? We really want to keep it to the purpose and the vision, and that's people's voices towards what would they like to see and how they would feel in the park. So we can put it out there and try to get as many Newark peoples or people that's involved, that's interested, to meet us down at the museum. To be
At
a
what
part
time,
of that
Donna?
process. What is it, Carla? I can't remember. What is it? I just, is it 2? I sent out the flyer yesterday. I don't have it.
2 to 4, 2 to 4, and then you register on Eventbrite already.
Okay, and it's on the Eventbrite?
Yes.
And so, you know, it's important for us because the idea is to really show the connection with all of our parks, right? So being a part of all of it, and that's what it's about, getting that feeling. We're bringing that feeling when we designed all the community parks. We want to have that same flavor and that same input so that we can feel ownership and a part of. And so that's why it's so important for us to get our friends and families out to be a part of this event. I'll be a part of it because, you know, I'm on the Park Foundation board as well. And so bringing TPL, United Parks as one, and Park Foundation together to support this endeavor because, you know, we're all a part of it. That's my spiel. Thank you.
Okay. Before closing, does anyone else have anything to share?
So now I'm gonna share my grandbaby. Everybody's showing baby. Say hi. My grandbaby just came. My 9th one.
All right. Can I hear 10, Donna? Can I hear 10?
I'm waiting. 13 is a lucky number.
All right.
Mama,
What?
All right. So if no one else has anything, okay,
I'm sorry, I have, Richard, I'm sorry, I forgot. I have one more announcement. Can I just throw in real quick? Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We are doing a seed starting workshop at the Conservancy on Tuesday. It's both school gardeners, community gardeners, anybody. It's going to be led by Charmaine LaFortune from Growing 1/10 Garden, and we'll provide a bunch of supplies so people can take home stuff to do seed starting for their spring growing.
Is there a flyer that we can?
What's the time, Sarah? When is it? What time?
It is 4 o'clock, and I said Tuesday, Wednesday. I am sorry, I'm on my phone, so I don't have access to the flyer, and but it's on the Conservancy website if you go to citybloom.org.
Hi, Gaia.
All right, Sarah, thank you for sharing.
See you later. See you both. Have a good day.
Thanks, everybody. We don't even want to leave, so I guess we are officially closed. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you at these meetings and things that we talked about. And definitely see you next month at the next meeting.
Yep.
And everyone enjoy your week.
See you, Bonga.
Have a good day, everyone.
See you, Bonga.
Okay.